Today I'm excited to be visiting a local filming location for the 1998 wartime classic Saving Private Ryan. This filming location is at Thame Park in Thame, Oxfordshire, and it's a very windy day, so I might have to narrate some of this. So first up, that hill in the background is where they shot the machine gun nest scene, one of the big parts of the movie, and we're going to head over there very shortly. So just as we head down to the gate that takes us into the first scene, the scene where they're all gathered just prior to the machine gun nest invasion, if I turn the camera around over here, I believe this area of the park over here was used for when they disable the, the half track, where they ambushed the Germans. Just off in the distance around here, that's where they would have met Matt, did the scene where they introduced Matt Damon. I also believe the scene where there's a lot of the wounded, that's just a guess as to where that was filmed, but they had to have used this big open space. Now I did hear, I don't know, maybe someone can let me in the comments below, but I did hear that Masters of the Air, which is the Steven Spielberg TV series, you know, they had Band of Brothers and what was that one, Pacific, and yeah, Masters of the Air. I think Masters of the Air was filmed here at Thame Park. Maybe Band of Brothers was, you know, used here for this big open bits of field, I don't know, but I did hear about that because there was a report in the newspaper a couple of years back that there was a lot of complaints from the residents of when they were like simulating bombs going off and things like that, and yeah, it made the papers. Now, just before Captain Miller and his troops attack the machine gun nest, we have this scene, which I believe was shot along here. The trees which I'm just pointing out to you have overgrown, so they look vastly different. But there's a gap which I'm pointing to now here on the left. It's hard to see, but that's the part where I just walked through past that gate, and you can see that behind Tom Hanks. One thing to note, if you do decide to come out here, this place is very uneven underfoot. It's very testing on the ankles, and it's so easy to roll your ankle. So just keep that in mind. So if I turn the camera around now, you're seeing the machine gun nest hill, which is this all the way along the top. One thing I use as a reference point, because there are a lot of trees up there, and some of them, you know, some of them would have grown higher, some of them would be newer trees, especially the little tiny ones down here on the bottom of the hill, that they're more freshly grown, considering this film was filmed 28 years ago. But my reference point is this tree here. I don't want to blur the camera. This one right here, you can see where it's just got these little twig pieces sticking out from the top of it, and you can see that in one of the shots. Now it looks nice and freshly green up there, but yes, that would have been all torn up for the movie, so of course it would look very different, and then they would have built that machine gun nest and it would have sat right along there. This is one of those locations today where you kind of have to more imagine it rather than see it. To know that it's so close to my doorstep, I'm only about half an hour away at best, 20 minutes at best away from here. Just a really important piece of film history filmed here, where I can just walk about and explore it is fascinating. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favourite war film of all time? Mine is this one, Saving Private Ryan, closely followed by Mel Gibson, We Were Soldiers. That is also a very good war film, and I'm sure there's a couple of others I'm missing off the list, but yeah, let me know in the comments below. So now that I'm near the foot of the hill, I'll show you again where that radar tower and machine gun nest would have sat. At the foot of the hill, we see Private Upham running up the hill with supplies. Note the concrete path here. That was here, but they've since put up a gate, but you can still see that that path is behind it. I'm now going to make my way up to the top of the hill, but these couple of these trees here, They weren't here during filming, they've since been planted. We then see the troops running up the hill under enemy fire. Having captured the German machine gun nest, there's this shot which you can still match a lot of the background up with. And then there's this big hole. Is this where the German known as Steamboat Willie was digging during that scene? This tree, which I'm highlighting for you here, has got that stick poking out the top. That's what I pointed out to you earlier as a reference point. And this tree is here, but it's hard to tell if that tree is broken from that one or that is the third tree which you see here. And finally, to the left of that radar tower, we have the tree that they buried the fallen troops under, which is this tree. Okay, now that I'm finished with the crazy hill, I've just come over to another part of Thame Park, and this was another filming location for the movie. If you remember in the film, there's that church scene where they're all talking in the church just prior to this machine gun nest scene. Well, the church is just over this wall. So now let's have a little closer look at the church. This is so brilliant. I haven't seen any filming location YouTube videos showing inside this church, so this is probably an exclusive look inside. From what that plaque said over there, it looks like this church has undergone like a restoration. Tom Hanks was sat in front of here talking to Tom Sizemore, although this banister is not the original one, because as I said, they've had a refurb, so they could have even been sat much closer to the camera and not sat exactly here. But Giovanni Ribisi's Wade character was sat right at the back here, and the rest of the squad was probably sat somewhere along here. In the scene, you can see a faint outline of the door and the glass window above it. If you did make it this far in the video, do leave us a like and subscribe, and check out my other playlists, which include movie reviews, movie locations, movie attractions, and so much more. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.